This is Fam Electric Ghost, and we are live with Ceee. And we're going to talk to you. Hey, we're glad to have you on the program. Last time we talked to you, it was only audio.
Yeah, thank you for having me a second time.
Well, we've been moving into this new world of video podcasting. And to let everybody know, we are live on our YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook channels now worldwide. And we're just happy to talk to you again, Ceee. It's cool. We did talk to you on Anchor FM, and to let everybody know, the Anchor FM audio that goes to Apple and Spotify will still happen, but we'll also have this video version of the podcast.
All right.
So since the last time we talked, you have a new video called The Deep End. Maybe you want to talk about it briefly before we're actually going to show the whole thing here.
All right. Deep End is basically based on contemporary relationships, like the relationships we face nowadays. It's like a situationship type, infatuation-filled type song. That's kind of what I was going for with the visuals and the lyrics.
Yeah. And you collaborated with your partner on this project?
Yes. Harry with the Vibes. He's a new artist too. He's upcoming. And he studies with me in my uni. So I hit him up. I was like, I know a perfect song for you. And yeah, it just aligned.
Cool. So you guys worked on that. Now, during COVID, how did you guys work on that together? Did you guys remotely work on that, or did you find a way to quarantine work on it?
Actually, we did it very differently. Normally, I would like to be in the studio with the artists that when I'm writing and when we're writing the song, but we did it very separately. So he did his verse, and then I did mine, and then the song came together. So it wasn't as interactive as usual. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe not. Yeah, it's kind of like the COVID limitation. But we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get ready to show it. So we've got it set up here. We're gonna put you on mute for a little bit, and then we're gonna get into the song. So just hold a second. We'll get right into it.
Scene 98.
Dim the lights real low, set the mood. I'll take up all these layers, set the view. Oh, the look in your eyes, I see it, ready to dive. I see you deep, 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 deep in my ocean. Keep it on the hush, on the low. Not a secret, but nobody needs to know. Yeah, the look in your eyes, I see you ready to dive. I see you deep, 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 deep in my ocean. There's no limit to it. Dive in the deep end, in the deep. Dive in the deep. There's no limit to it. Dive in the deep end, in the deep. Dive in the deep, there's no limit to it. Dive in the deep end, in the deep. Dive in the deep, there's no limit to it. Dive in the deep end, in the deep. Dive in the deep end.
If I could say the words and testify, loving you would be my life. See my dreams will come alive. For me, there's a reason why. Give you all my love, give you all my trust, give you all you want, give you all I got. There's a moment passing through the night, picture perfect paradise, drowning when I see your eyes. Tell me you could change my life. Can't wait for the movement in your ocean. In your ocean, from the ocean.
There's no limit to it. Dive in the deep end, in the deep. Dive in the deep. There's no limit to it. Dive in the deep end, in the deep. Dive in the deep. There's no limit to it. Dive in the deep end, in the deep. Dive in the deep. There's no limit to it. Dive in the deep end, in the deep. Dive in the deep end.
So that is Deep End, and we're coming back to our interview here. So let me get back. So you hear me again?
Yep, I hear you.
Yeah, so that's a really cool video. It's like a lot of cool editing. I like the cuts and the editing. So the question, I guess, when you put this together, who actually did all the production work on it, and how did you film it during COVID? Well, that's always a bit of a question in this time.
Yeah.
How did?
Well, a friend of mine actually works on the production of it. I came up with the visualized ideas. I kind of gave him an idea of what I wanted and the feel I wanted the song to have and the video to match its energy. So he saw it through like that. He's really dope. If anything, this whole project, like this visualizer is a part of a series of visualizers that I'm going to be dropping every month or so. And so far, this is the second song. It's the second song of this project. And he is the one that did all the videos, everything.
Is it going to be like a video album, or are you going to have an actual EP to go with it?
It's more of like it's very informal. It's very unorthodox. It's more of like a visual project, but then it's singles. Like I don't collectively group the songs together. Like each song is individual and has its own individual story, but then it's part of a bigger picture that's mostly discussing contemporary relationships.
So at the end, it could be like put under a wrapper with a playlist, video playlist that is that visualizer concept, and maybe you could eventually put it out in other forms. Because if this ended up really hitting and you ended up having like 5 or 6 songs, I don't know how many you envision, would you then maybe turn it into an EP?
No.
No? You just keep it singles?
Yeah. because I have 2 EPs coming out. Actually.
Oh, you already have. Oh, so this is like a separate project from the. So you've been working hard. So you've been doing a lot of work. That seems like yeah. So during COVID, it looks like you doubled down on doing a lot of work.
Yeah, that happened later on, because there's been like so many stages of this COVID experience. And in the beginning, I was so unmotivated, so uninspired for like the first couple of months, actually. But then towards this ending period of it, I don't say ending because it's not done yet, but yeah.
Almost. It's almost
this period,
done.
I've been more, but towards this period, I've been more centered and focused, I guess. I feel like I got time to find myself again. And this is me just throwing the whole box away and just seeing what I come up with.
Well, I think that's very impressive. The video is awesome. I mean, you got a really cool feel. It's got great visuals. You got a great look. You got really interesting, between the black and white shots and the color shots and the angles and the different cuts and editing.
Oh,
it's really cool. I mean, it looks awesome and it sounds really good. It just feels like you've got a lot of good work. From the last time we talked, you had a really good, impressive initial launch, and now you've got all this new material. So are you looking forward to when they open venues to be able to play, and how far will you be able to go? Do you think you'll be able to tour out a lot of countries, or do you think you'll be limited this year?
Well, it's kind of key because I'm a student too at the same
Mm-hmm.
time, and I graduate next year, God willing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's I don't know, because I want to enter the working world. Like I want to do my course, public health, and work in that field for a while before I fully enter my music.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, honestly. I hope it aligns.
So
I don't know how I'm
so
gonna
maybe
do
you
both
just
worlds.
the videos are a good way to keep your audience engaged if you want to still do
Exactly.
because you have a really good day job. Kind of like I have a pretty good day.
Exactly.
I'm an IT guy. I'm an IT guy, so I have a pretty good day job. I'm not like a starving artist, but it's just the idea that if you have a good career as your day job and you're an artist, you kind of got to thread the needle. And so, like, I can understand that. But the thing is, it's weird. Like musicians, we're kind of in this situation. If something kicks really big, sometimes you got to go.
You have
like
to
on that jump on that wave. Like if you can't get caught on a wave, then you might have to postpone something or delay something on the other side.
Yeah,
but like
totally. I'm open to that too. Genuinely,
mm-hmm.
I'm open to that. But primarily, I want to work in my course first. I want to do public health and get some experience in that field. And that's why, actually, that's one of the reasons why I'm releasing a lot of music this year. I'm doing a lot of projects because I may have to take a break. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But just in case I do, I just want there to be a ton of music from me just out there waiting for people to find it. Yeah.
But that's a good idea to have a catalog of stuff because I'm kind of from the old school, like the old school work ethics, like Stevie Wonder and Prince. They worked all the time. Right, if you look at Prince, he was recording like pretty much almost every day. In a year, he would have four or five records, and only one could come out. But he would put down like 4 or 5. And Stevie Wonder sometimes would put 2 or 3, have that many able to come out. And so I see a lot of new artists like in hip hop. There's a lot of mixtape work. There's stuff on SoundCloud. There's stuff in all these different mechanisms where you do see people doing a lot of work, and people are willing to do more than what you would expect. So I think it's good to have a good catalog.
It is a full-time job, to be honest. Being an artist, I feel like I've been asked this question so many times to choose which field. Like I have to pick one. I can't do both because essentially they're both tasking. So
it's hard. Yeah, it's difficult. I think because when you're an independent artist, I think there's less pressure if you're indie to say, okay, I'm going to thread the needle. I'm going to do both. But it's always like a lot of artists, it's like the dream is like I would love to do ghost stuff 100%, and my podcast actually does pretty good business compared to my other work. My other work is doing okay, but like my ghost music it does all right, but it's like the podcast actually becoming more of what I'm known for than my own music, which is like, okay, well, every artist would rather have it the other way. Wow. but it's interesting, like, and then you have your career, your day job. So there's like, okay, well, which one do I want? Because they got like 3 choices. Do you want to do podcast 100%, musician 100%, or day job 100%? It's like, we can't do them all because you're not a 300% person.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's hard to kind of figure out.
How do you balance it, if I may ask?
Well, it's kind of like a time.
How do you balance it? How do you?
Well, I have like a 9 to 5-er. And then I kind of am older. I don't have to sleep as much as I used to. So I do a lot of stuff on the weekend. Anytime my 9 to 5 stops, I spend most of my time doing my other job. And so because I deal with people in different time zones, I'm able to like work with people like yourself or people like in Australia or Japan or like the UK And it's really because like I think music is my passion, so it's not work for me. So after I'm done with my 8 to 4 or 9 to 5, I just like, okay, music is fun. So I just do another 3 hours or 4 hours worth of music
Yeah.
stuff just because I like it. I don't think of, oh, now I got to do 3 hours of music. No, I'm kind of looking forward to that all day. You know, that's how I do it. I like it to be
I get
flipped
that. I
around.
get that.
So for you, it's like, yeah, I guess it's the same kind of thing. You probably got to do all your student work and then you do your artwork, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like right now we've actually started, the exam period is creeping in, and like we're doing exams. I'm trying to get my project out. Like it's just a lot, but I don't know. I'll figure it out. I've been doing it for like a year or so now, and I'm getting the hang of it as I go.
Yeah, I think it's like it's a
Yeah.
process. You're trying to figure out what you can do and what you can't do. Like I can't do, you know, my gig work during the day where I'm doing my main work is so I have to be dedicated, or I have to take a day off.
Yeah.
Like if something happens where somebody wants me to go to New York, then I gotta take a day off, you know, because that's what I gotta do. If it happens to be during the middle of the week, then you have to like figure out like
Yeah.
where you're gonna take these days, and then like your vacation time is end up being for your other job. It's not actually your vacation time. It's like taking time off so I can do my other job.
Exactly.
You know, so it's just like, you know, it's like we're always doing
Literally.
like, oh, we're doing 3 4 jobs. Yeah, doing 3 4 jobs. That's like, but that's what you do. I think as a musician today, you have to like promote. You got to work on your video. You got to know your contracts. You got to know this. You're doing a lot of stuff already. You know, as a musician today, you know, right? You have to do a lot of
Exactly.
your own.
Especially if you're independent, you know.
Yeah, yeah. That's totally like the
Like when you're
problem today.
independent, I feel like it's you have to be everything. Your marketing team, you have to be everything for yourself, more or less.
Yeah, it's very difficult compared to the old days, but then maybe not, because like in the old days, you get picked up by a label, but if you didn't make a profit for them, like after like 3 albums, you were done. You're done. You like you get dropped from the label, and if you get dropped, it's hard to get picked up again. Today, as an independent artist, you can keep on going for years, you know, because you're doing it to your comfort zone, right? And like as you're doing it to what you think you can,
True.
the risk you can take, and you're not going to get booted off your own thing because it's your thing. You know, so I think what you're doing is great.
Literally.
I think the presentation
Actually,
you're doing. Yeah.
Thank
Go
you.
ahead.
Funny enough, like I feel like it is a disadvantage. I mean, it's an advantage being an independent artist as well, because of what you said. Like essentially, I've created my own system around everything that I want. So it's at my pace. Like I'm putting out music at the pace I reason out when I want my music out. It's all up to me. So I like that. I like that it's not a race. Like it's like a marathon for me. It's something that's long term, that's going to be in my life for a long time. So I'm not trying to like rush through it. I'm trying to just take my time, get my crafts, you know, airtight, and yeah.
Yeah, I think the cool thing, like I said, is like as an independent artist, you don't have that fear of getting dropped, and then you can actually develop. I mean, there was a time period in the old days where bands were allowed to develop. You know, they would let you stay on the label for maybe 3 records, like, you know, before they dropped you. But like today, it's harder.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times, people get like one hit. It's just a single. It's not a record. Like back in the day, you'd have a single and you'd have a record, right? Today, a lot of times an artist only has that single that ever becomes big.
Wow.
They don't get like the record that goes big, because so many things are on Spotify they're on playlists. And so it's rare that you get an artist that once in a while you get the Taylor Swift, you get the Tyler, the Creator, You get like somebody that actually has an album, like, you know, Kendrick Lamar. His people bought his whole album. They didn't just buy a single, you know. And so like that's like the more longevity, in my opinion, is like when you can have more than one song and a full project that people like, and then you have more longevity, like in the major part of the industry. Like, but in the indie world, you can have multiple albums, multiple projects for years, and maybe be an artist that's under 200,000, under 50,000, you know, selling that level, but still be able to be viable, which is cool, because then you get the diversity of more people out there, more music, and not just having a certain type of music, which is what I like. Why I talk to people like you is I like to talk to different people in the indie world to see what they're doing, and see how different it is from the mainstream, which is, you know, I think is, you know, the pleasure of my life is listening to all types of artists all the time and talking to them. That's what I like to do. But so thank you for being on the show. Taking your time to do that. I know you're busy.
I like that. I like that you're open to. I like that you're open to all types of sounds and, you know, genres, because essentially, like, music shouldn't be boxed in. It shouldn't be, you know. I feel like everyone experiences life, and music kind of allows them to express themselves through their own experience and through their own scope. So it's more or less like you can't be limited like one specific sound or one specific genre, because you'll be missing out on this whole vast sorry, it's breaking a lot. Can you hear me?
I hear you, but the video is breaking, but your audio is not.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. You can't hear me? I do hear you.
Okay. I was just saying that I appreciate that, you know, really come out and support artists from all over. That's commendable. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
I think what I love about, you know, music is I grew up, you know, my father was a big record collector, so he had jazz, he had classical, he had soul, he had rock, he had country. You know, so my dad would have Johnny Cash, he'd have Hendrix, he'd have Smokey Robinson, he'd have like Leadbelly, he'd have like Dave Brubeck. You know, he had some Beethoven, he had some Bach. He had like so much stuff that I was like, okay, well, I should listen to like all of it. And then from there, my taste grew up with, okay, when hip hop came along, it's like I didn't like, so that's not music. I was like, that was a different type of music, so I'm going to listen to that. Just like I listen to punk. I mean, I listen to bands like The Clash and the Sex Pistols, and bands like Nirvana and Pearl Jam, and, you know, bands like Led Zeppelin and stuff.
Yeah.
But, you know, but I like funk, so I'm going to listen to James Brown. I'm going to listen to Funkadelic Parliament. I'm going to listen to Earth, Wind, and Fire. So I you know, sometimes some people, you know, they get too narrow, and like, and if all you listen to is like mumble rap, or all you listen to is EDM, or all you listen to is techno, I think that's very limiting. I like that, like, that's why I call it what I do, expansive sound, because I try to pull in anything. You know, if I hear something in a Johnny Cash song or a Dylan song, I might mix it with something I hear in a Kendrick Lamar. You know, because like, why not? You know, but I just think it's cool to mix genres. And if you look at the great artists, they all they all mix genres. You know, Michael Jackson was mixing rock with soul, with, you know, with hip hop. He mixed it all together. Yeah, I mean, Prince did the same thing. You know, all the great artists tend to take multiple genres and make a new genre. That tends to be what they do. So I'm glad you're in the same state of mind. So I still hear you.
Because essentially, I used to think it was a problem that I couldn't identify which genre. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I think we talked about that before. Yeah, you said that one time.
I used to think that it was a problem that I couldn't fit myself in a genre. Yeah, exactly. So it was kind of, I had to change my perspective on that, because essentially it is a blessing that I can express myself in all these genres, because honestly I have songs that I've not released yet that have nothing to do with the genres I've released so far. Like I have a country type song, I have
Hmm.
blues, there's some blues song I have, a jazz type. Like I just try to, even rock actually. I think I did like a soft rock. I wrote a soft rock song recently too. But like
I think
it's
it's
still not
awesome.
it is out yet, because I almost don't know. I didn't know how to package it in a sense, because
Yeah, I think the best
yeah.
packaging for that kind of diversity is actually an album. If you think about it, like if you have a rock song, a jazz song, pop song, then if you have them in an
Yeah.
album, it would show that you are a very diverse artist. And even though they're different, they're still all you. And that's kind of like the brilliance of the album format is it allows you to kind of stretch out. Even an EP could stretch out like that. So if you had an EP is like 6 songs or something, and you put that together, I think it's cool to do that. Some people would say, "Oh, it should all be the same." And it's like, I don't agree with that, because I think if you go back and you look at some of the great albums, even like Sgt. Pepper's from the Beatles, it's not all the same.
Yeah.
It's a very diverse. You listen to Stevie Wonder albums like Songs in the Key of Life. That's a very diverse record. It
Mm.
doesn't all sound the same, and that's the kind of point of an album is you can kind of show your total like repertoire as an artist,
Yeah.
which is cool. Even a mixtape, do it as a mixtape, you can
It,
still get it out.
it's it's actually funny because I used to think that, sorry, it's like breaking so bad, right? Like
I hear you though.
anyway.
You're coming
I
through.
used to
You're coming
think
through good.
that EPs had to be like, it had to be part of a story.
Yeah, it doesn't
Or
have to be. Yeah,
I
it
was
doesn't
saying,
have
I
to
used to
be.
think that EPs are meant to be part of like almost like almost like story, Yeah. And it just, I guess it's you who decides what should go. Because at the end of the day, art is supposed to be fluid. Like, art is not supposed to be something you say, oh, this is the way, and that this should be like that, and that. So I feel like that's where I went from with that. Essentially, I would try and do projects that, let's say, if I'm doing an EP, I want all the songs to be Afro beats or pop or reggae or whatever it's that I'm trying to go for. But with this project I'm doing now with the visualizers, it's completely like there is no type of genre. Like I'm not trying to follow any script with that. It's all just genres that I feel like I can thrive in and I've written to. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is. I think like as you get to be an artist and you start to get your sea legs, as they say, you realize whatever management says or what other people say. If you think about it, like I always look at stories like about Jimi Hendrix. Like his people told him like you can't do feedback. You're not supposed to be that loud. You can't, you don't sing like a Motown singer, so you can't even do a record, right? And he broke all their rules, and he became like the biggest black guitar player or world guitar player of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't have a perfect singing voice. He didn't do it the way they wanted, the way it had been done before. And he broke tons of rules on how you actually do music. And guitar players up till now still look at him as like one of the most big innovators ever. And he just, if you look at music like that, guys like him, they people who break the rules, they create the new set of rules. And so whatever in music, if somebody tells you you're not doing it right, you're probably doing the right thing. That's the way I look at it.
I
Yeah.
like that. I like
Yeah.
that.
Thank you. Well, yeah, Hendrix is my big idol. I mean,
I'm
it's
gonna
just
I'm
like,
gonna steal that from you. That amazing.
Well, he was like, he still to this day is considered the world's greatest guitar player, and he's one of the best, songwriters ever. And he just, he only had 3 years in the spotlight, and he created, such a catalog that it's just iconic. It's like as iconic as anything like Miles Davis or Coltrane or James Brown did. And it's just, to me, as I'm a musician, like I'm a keyboardist, but I've always very wanted to be a guitar player. So every time I look at Hendrix, he was like, my idol. And I tried to play guitar. I could never do it to the level I wanted. But I think it's like people that you look up to in music a lot of times are the people who take the risks, people who try to do different things.
Yeah.
So this project you're
Literally.
doing with
Someone
with the
like Canada
visualize.
for me, I
Yeah.
really
Yeah, who do you have like that in your life? Who do you look up to?
go on. It's okay.
I guess who do you look up to for like way I look at Hendrix? Like, who's the artist?
The list is endless, and even upcoming artists on that list too. So many people think that it only has to be people that have sort of made it that inspire you, and I feel like every creative inspires
Okay.
you. Get out your craft if you figure out how to tell your story and how to speak to your audience, then that's just admirable.
Yeah, I think
And I feel
everybody.
like old school, Erica Badu, Lauryn
Mhm.
Hill, Rihanna, Janae, SZA.
Yeah, I do hear that. I hear your influences, but you've actually, you have your own style, but I can hear where it came from. So I hope you heard that. But I was saying I could hear your influences. I could hear like Lauryn Hill. I could hear Erica Badu. But I do realize it's like you. Do you hear me? Maybe it got cut off. I guess we're having some audio problems right now. But did you hear the last bit?
Can you hear me?
I hear you now. I don't know if you heard me.
Yeah. I heard part of it.
Yeah, I was just
feel like
saying
you're
I do.
hearing me like seconds later, like minutes later.
Yeah, it's getting a little worse. It was okay, and now it's kind of not being in sync. But I think we did have a pretty good interview for the time that it did stay in sync, but it's starting to drift off a little bit. So I do appreciate that you come on the show. Did you hear that? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I was saying because of the sound problems we're having now, we might have to cut it short a little bit. But we love the fact that you came on the show and that we were able to show your video. We just want to make sure that you're safe out there and you're doing well. And we'll talk to you again when you have more work to show to the world. It would be great. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me, and we can continue this conversation any other time. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for being on the show.
It's been great. I like our conversations. They're always very enlightening, and I always leave with something. Yeah,
well, I'm glad I can give you that. Have a good day or good night. Thank you. Bye.
All right.